welcome to Illinois Lawmakers. We're back in Springfield at the Speaker's Gallery in the Illinois House, where we have a new partnership with Capital News Illinois. Our guest today to lead off the program is former State Senator Andy Manar, who's now Deputy Governor of Illinois. Good to have you back on the program.
Thanks for having me, Jack.
You made a lot of news last week when you sent a memo to state agency directors saying that if we don't have some cooperation on the revenue enhancements that the governor is asking for to build out that budget, that there may have to be some cuts.
Yeah.
What is the situation now, a week later, as these talks move forward?
Sure. Well, first, I should say that the memo that we sent to agencies wasn't intended to make news. I would describe it more as a continuation of what the Pritzker administration has done over the last 5 fiscal years that has received support from the General Assembly, which is balancing the budget, making sure revenues and expenditures meet, not do things like skip pension payments or use lofty revenue estimates just to bring the budget into balance or extend the bill payment cycle. So we were just simply putting agencies on notice that while the governor proposed what we think is a solid budget back in February, there may be some changes that are coming from the legislature, and those things take time to implement. So I have no doubt this will come together in the coming week or two, and we will again pass now our 6th balanced budget in a row.
It's not unusual to have that kind of word go out as things progress toward these final days of the legislature's spring session. It happens in Republican administrations, Democrats as well.
Yeah, it does. And you know, we actively manage the state's budget every day of the year. I think that's one reason why there has been credit upgrade after credit upgrade, why the governor's work has been recognized in terms of where we are today compared to where we were just a handful of years ago. So this is just part of our effort to say, look, things may not end up the way that we proposed. And if that's the will of the legislature, if they choose to reduce spending on things, and that is negotiated, that is one route. I would just go back to the governor's introduced budget. We think it's a good proposal. We think it invests in the things that the people of the state want, and it is balanced, and it will put the state on a better path next year.
A lot of these deal with basically tax code changes. Some of them, it's actually continuing them. They're already in effect. Is there any one issue that's getting more pushback than others? I know the road fund transfer is one that Republicans have mentioned.
Yeah, I think generally I wouldn't point to one in particular, but I would say this is a different type of budget proposal than in previous years. Our revenues, while the state's economy is growing, it isn't growing as fast as it was a couple of years ago. We're still in a good place, but that then has an impact on the state budget. So I think the general conversation this year is just a bit different than what we've experienced in the last certainly 3 fiscal years. So that requires on the administration's part different administration when it comes to budget negotiation. So you know, we're gonna get this together. The governor doesn't sign budgets that are unbalanced. But again, we're just making preparations for final session.
Has anything been considered, has anything been taken off the table as far as any of these measures go?
No, actually to the contrary. The governor has said that if the legislature doesn't support one or multiple of those individual pieces of his proposal, whether that's revenue or spending, that all ideas should be welcome, and that there are multiple paths to get to a balanced budget that can be agreed to.
One of the things that I know that he's very serious about is continuing the ongoing funding for the evidence-based funding formula for schools. That's what, $300 million or $350 million. Yeah. So that's still in there?
Yes, yeah. And I think, you know, going back to the proposal this year that contains new sources of revenue, we should be very clear. If we're going to continue to invest in the state's most underfunded schools first, which is what the evidence-based funding model has been doing successfully now for many years, that's going to be a requirement to prioritize that in the state budget. That's what the governor's introduced budget does. I think that's what the General Assembly wants to do as well.
Deputy Governor Andy Manar, thanks very much for your time on Illinois Lawmakers.
You bet.
We appreciate it.
Thank you.